Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Black Voices Today Confidential, brought to you by Raquel Producers Production. I am your creator and host, Raquel Masco, and I am honored and always excited to bring you another episode of this fine podcast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. All right, so we've been on a little bit of a journey with sexuality, relationships, relationship issues. Last week, our episode dealt with abandonment and trust issues. None of us have those though, right? We're all good in that area. No issues whatsoever. It was an enlightening episode for me. It's interesting you can plan out your podcast and know what you want to say. And then when you get flowing, it's amazing the thoughts and insights that come to you and to your heart. Well, at least for me anyway. I don't know about all you other podcasters out there, how it works for you, but it has been a learning experience for me. So today's short episode, I want to talk about grappling with your sexual identity. I know we're in a new age and people are more progressive, societal attitudes are more progressive, but not everyone, not everywhere. And it's still really difficult and hard for so many of us when we're just dealing with those issues, either because of how you were raised, because of values that were instilled or forced upon you, things that you've read, either in the word, scripture-wise, things that you've been taught, words that you've heard. There's still ugliness out there. I still see those comments, right? You do too, right? You see those ugly words that are meant to harm the LGBTQ community, QIA community. The murders of trans women, trans black women, or black trans women. So it's not easy to just say, well, here I am. This is what I'm dealing with. And this is who I am. I'm out and about, loud and proud. For some of you, it's like since birth, I knew who I was, and this is who I am. Accept me, love me, no matter what. And if you don't, bye-bye. Kudos to you. That's amazing. For so many of us, it still is a struggle, and it still is tied to other people and their opinions, right? If you didn't have that, you didn't worry about that, it wouldn't be an issue. Or if you were really secure in yourself and you're like, this is right. So you may be grappling with your own attitudes. But knowing who you are and being able to speak it to yourself first is life-saving. And then if you're able to speak it to someone else, that's life-saving and life-changing. To be able to say, this is who I am proud, I am not ashamed, I won't live in fear, I won't live in shame. I know that there's threats out there, but I don't want to not live my life because of what someone else may think or even may do. So much love and respect to everyone who gets past that hurdle and you embrace all of yourself, all of your gay self, lesbian, bisexual, queer, asexual, however you identify yourself. Hug yourself, embrace and love yourself, if you are not in a place where you can be fully honest just with yourself even, or with anyone in your immediate circle or in your family, take your time. This is your life. This is your story. This is your journey. No one has to live it but you. That's why we let go of those opinions and hurtful perspectives, because this is our life and we get this one shot to live it. Now, when we leave, pass from this earth, I believe that there's more. This isn't the end. But while we're in this human form and we get all this beauty around us, and yes, there's hell, and we want to let 2020 go, but we can't. It seems things are following us obviously into it because of the way we ended the year. But there's still life and there's still amazing things out there for us to experience. So if we can get all of this pandemic under control, then we get to go back to experiencing it fully. But while we're waiting and you are trying to put a finger on exactly who you are, I think with the bisexual community, do we want to call it community, how we want to deal with it. And we'll have an episode next week where we're going to have someone in who is a counselor and has her own practice and is working with the LGBTQ community, working with those who are polyamorous. It's going to be an amazing show. But I think if you were bisexual and you are trying to put a finger on who am I, just to narrow it down, there's so many things out there. You go, how do you know if you are? There's things that say, well, if you're asking, then you probably are bisexual. If you have to ask, you probably are a lesbian. Then you go, well, and I know that I have these attractions to both. And then you figure out how you want to live your life, how you want to live as a partner or as a single person. There's no law that says you have to be wed, that you have to be married. That's a choice you make. And everybody really doesn't want that. So take your time and figure all of that out. When we come back next week, I want to explore that with our counselor, Nikki. And we'll be going live for that podcast to really get into the depths of everything, of sexual identity, of how we can be repressed and where all that repression comes from and how to move past it. If we've been given this sexual desire, this libido, these urges, then we should be able to enjoy them in the safest way possible, without any shame, without any backlash, and without any stigma. So we're going to talk about that next week. I hope you come back. It'll be Tuesday. We'll be going live at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 6:30. Sometimes there's technical difficulties, but we'll be going live. So I pray, that we make it through the rest of this week. Everyone, please be safe. There are so many cases of COVID coming up with friends, with people I know and care about deeply that are dear to me. There's some, I don't know, I was just in a live and it was a jewelry live show and someone there was in the hospital with COVID. But she's alone in there, still has her phone or laptop or whatever. She's able to communicate at least with a group of people outside of the healthcare professionals. By the way, thank you again for all the hard work. But yeah, let's focus on really getting to know ourselves, who we are, past all of the things we've taken from other people. Like, when you're raised, you take tidbits or little pieces sometimes of other people, parents, friends. Sometimes we don't truly know who we are and what we like. So when it comes to our identity, we can sometimes not be 100% sure. So let's take the time out to really explore it. Let's really get into it so that we can live the best and happiest and most joyful life, peaceful, productive, and challenging in a good way. I guess in a bad way too. Challenges, they can show us who we are. We can gain strength and wisdom from those challenges. So just a full, well-rounded life and pleasure. We deserve sexual pleasure. We deserve to have our needs met, to have desires fulfilled. And if you can find it with a loving, wonderful partner, all the more better. All right. Thanks, guys. And girls, women, men, ladies and gents, and everything in between. You are appreciated, you are valued, and you are worth the effort in figuring it all out. So until next week, take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. So tune in next week. 6 p.m. Tuesday, January 12th, for another episode of Black Voices Today, Confidential, brought to you by Raquel Produces Productions. Bye-bye, y'all.